The film begins with a horrifying sight, an entity split in two, hands crawling from its body devouring a corpse. Then the scene cuts. Enter Megan, returning to her parents' home. Her father, Robert, is gravely ill with cancer, and her mother, Barbara, is constantly by his side. Watching her father suffer has shattered Megan, and she's even started smoking again, hiding it from her controlling mother. In her father's room, Megan notices the dirty carpet and starts cleaning. That's when she spots a bundle under the bed. Opening it, she recoils in shock. Inside are human teeth. Nauseated, she tosses them into the trash. As the camera pans, more occult objects appear, revealing Barbara's deep belief in dark magic. Megan's world is now caught between grief, fear, and a sinister mystery lurking in her own home. Later, when Barbara notices the teeth, she quietly puts them back in the bundle. Megan realizes it's just one of her mother's superstitions, influenced by her yoga instructor, Deborah, and she doesn't like it at all. Her mother wasn't like this before. She had always been smart and practical, but perhaps her husband's illness changed her, and now she believes in spiritual practices. Megan tries to reason with her mother, but Barbara dismisses her, saying, "You always think negatively. You wouldn't understand." Megan chooses not to argue, knowing her mother is going through a difficult time. Meanwhile, Robert is in intense pain, and Barbara gives him a dose of morphine herself, refusing Megan's help. That same day, their nurse, Nikki, arrives and discovers Barbara has been deliberately giving only half the dose. Nikki warns her that Robert is suffering and should get the full dose, but Barbara, paranoid, insists too much medicine will harm him. Later, Nikki pulls Megan aside, revealing that her mother has been reducing or skipping doses, and warns Megan to stay vigilant. Earlier, Megan had noticed that whenever Robert was in pain, he only called for Barbara. She realized he waited until the pain became unbearable before summoning her. A dangerous secret was hidden behind this. Barbara clearly didn't want to lose her husband. The mother-daughter bond was never very strong, but Barbara had admitted that without Robert, she would have no identity left. Knowing this made Megan even sadder. Later, Megan approaches Barbara, needing money for a project, a scholarship program she had started for children. When Robert was well, he had promised Megan he would help if she ever faced a shortage, but Barbara refuses, insisting Megan shouldn't ask her parents for money. A brief argument ensues, but Megan understands her mother is just worried about Robert. She convinces Barbara to leave the house for the night to calm her mind. Reluctantly, Barbara agrees, but instead of going far, she drives off and then turns the car back. For days, Barbara had been pulling out her hair and storing it in a box, leaving her scalp raw, creating a talisman with personal items like her wedding ring. Megan didn't know, but Barbara had long been performing a ritual. In Robert's room, Megan heard strange noises from the walls, as if something crawled. Before she could investigate, Robert screamed in pain, so Megan gave him his medication early. Seeing her father in agony deeply upset her, recalling childhood memories when Robert had comforted her about death. She fell asleep beside him, and when she woke, Robert looked terrified, saying he could see them. Megan calmed him and helped him back to bed, only to realize later that Barbara had returned and also given Robert his medication, doubling the dose. They argued, unaware of the dark events still to come. That night, Megan and Barbara slept beside Robert, ready to rush him to the hospital if needed. The next morning, Megan awoke to find he had passed away. Heartbroken, she cried uncontrollably, while her mother remained strong. They embraced, finding brief comfort in each other, until Megan noticed Barbara on the phone, insisting they keep Robert's body cold until night. Confused, Megan asked why they should be preparing for the funeral. Barbara revealed that Deborah had told her about a tantric who could bring the dead back, and she intended to perform the ritual. Shocked and furious, Megan argued, knowing the dead don't return, but it was clear someone was exploiting her mother's grief. Frustrated, she stepped outside to smoke, hallucinating her father's spirit, who advised her to support her broken-hearted mother, and reassured her she would soon realize no ritual could resurrect Robert. Later, Megan realizes her earlier fears were just her imagination and tells Barbara she will support her. Together, they clear a room and light dozens of candles following instructions. No outside light and all mirrors covered. As Megan covers the mirrors, she first sees two glowing eyes, then many more, frightening her outside. Inside, Barbara burns items precious to Robert as part of the ritual. Megan finds a childhood photo she wants to keep, but Barbara insists everything must go. While discussing the photo, Barbara reveals Robert never wanted Megan to dance. It was his request, not hers, that she left dance school, something Megan had always misunderstood. Following the ritual, Megan bathes and dresses in a simple yellow outfit. Barbara believes fully, while Megan does it only to support her mother, even suggesting it's not too late to abandon the ritual. Barbara explodes in anger and tells Megan to leave. "I'll handle this alone. You've left us before. It's easy for you," she says. Megan, furious, retorts, "I left because of you. You've always tried to control me." And the same with Robert. A heated argument erupts between mother and daughter, but then there's a knock at the door. The tantric has arrived. He is a strange elderly man who immediately sniffs around Megan and Barbara, then inspects Barbara's hair and teeth. Some of her teeth were missing, and the hair she had removed for the ritual confirmed that the teeth Megan had seen in the bundle were Barbara's. Barbara had already lowered the house temperature to keep Robert's body from decaying. She places the talisman she made from her hair on his corpse, and together, mother and daughter carry him into the empty candlelit room. Barbara hands the tantric a bag stuffed with money, leaving Megan stunned. When she asks how much was paid for the ritual, Barbara admits she gave him her entire savings, leaving herself with nothing. This was why he had refused to give Barbara any money, leaving Megan bewildered and unsure how to reason with her mother. She tells Barbara that even if the ritual works and Robert comes back, they won't have enough money to live, and she can't support them both. But Barbara dismisses her concerns, saying it doesn't matter, she just wants Robert back. Shocked by her mother's obsession, Megan angrily tries to leave, but a voice in her mind, taking Robert's form, reminds her she can't leave her mother alone with this man. Reluctantly, Megan returns. The tantric has set up strange objects and drawn a circle inscribed with ancient words, with Robert's naked body at its center. Barbara warns that once the ritual begins, they cannot leave the circle. She explains that they must sacrifice 3 things. After the first 2, they will reach the spirit world, and the final sacrifice will bring Robert's soul back into his body. The tantric first needs their tears. Thinking of Robert, Barbara cries and he collects her tears for the ritual. Next, the tantric asks Megan to cry as well, but she says she can't. He places his hand over her eyes and memories from her childhood begin to surface. How Robert had stopped her from attending dance classes and refused to support Barbara in finishing her studies. Seeing this, Megan is filled with sorrow. She had always believed her mother never supported her, while thinking highly of her father. Overcome with emotion, she cries and the tantric collects her tears. He then gives them food, which makes Megan nauseous, but Barbara urges her to swallow. After eating, Megan feels disconnected from her body. The first sacrifice is complete. The next sacrifice proves far more painful. The tantric slices off Barbara's finger, leaving her unnervingly calm, but Megan panics. Then he cuts off one of Megan's fingers, paralyzing her completely. Using their blood, he anoints Robert's body while chanting in an ancient language. Finally, he instructs Barbara and Megan to hold each other's hands and repeat the incantation, which they obediently do. Suddenly, everything starts shaking. Both women scream in pain, and a blinding white light flashes. Moments later, the chaos subsides, and they find themselves still inside the circle, but it's now completely dark. Robert's body has vanished, and the tantric is making eerie, unearthly noises. When he turns, they see his jaw is missing. He's trembling and outside the circle. Shocked, Megan and Barbara are stunned, and Barbara wonders why the ritual failed. Then Megan pulls out the photo she had secretly kept instead of burning it as instructed. The incomplete circle had caused everything to go wrong. Barbara quickly urges Megan to burn it before the tantric can harm them. Once the photo burns, the circle completes, all the candles flare, and they are now safe inside, but truly in the spirit world. Their biggest problem, Robert's body is missing and the tantric is dead. Megan asks what to do next, and Barbara insists they must first recover Robert's corpse to call his soul back. Then they see him, his body split in half, hands protruding, eyes changed, the vessel now possessed by a malevolent spirit. This was the film's opening scene, and now, whatever possessed Robert's body was devouring the tantric's corpse. Horrified, Megan insists this can't be her father and pleads to escape, but Barbara admits she doesn't know how. That was the tantric's job. She hopes completing the ritual by calling Robert's soul back might return them to their world. To lure him, Barbara cuts her hand, drawing him near, but he won't enter the circle. When she accidentally extends her hand, Robert grabs it and drags her into the darkness. Megan can't leave or she'll die. Barbara's screams echo, then silence. Blood spills around the circle. Barbara is dead, and Megan, shattered, has lost both parents in one night. Exhausted and terrified, trapped in an incomprehensible world, she calls out to God, begging for help. No one was there to hear Megan's cries. Spirits passed near the circle, and she begged for help, but they vanished. Then a massive dark force with glowing eyes appeared. Megan shouted at it, even threw something, but it returned. Desperate, she performed the third sacrifice, eating the herb and cutting 2 fingers, but nothing happened. Time passed until she heard digging beneath the floor. Pulling it open, she saw her home and childhood memories, but realized it was all an illusion. Exhausted, she returned to the circle, only to see her mother, body cut like Robert's, eyes glowing. Megan said, "I know you're not my mom. I thought you were wrong, but I still love you. I'm tired of fighting." She blew out the circle. A blinding light flashed, ending the ordeal. Whether she escaped or not, Megan freed herself from the prison of her mind. Understanding her parents' flaws in love, she accepted them, realizing that before loving anyone else, one must first love oneself, or obsession can cross all limits, like it did for Barbara and Robert.